Thank you, Ed. So, demystifying sustainable focused private-public partnerships in around 10 minutes. I'll give that a shot. So let me start with why there is a need for sustainable focused private-public partnerships, and then give you my recommendations on how to ensure successful private-public partnerships and some examples that hopefully can demystify and inspire to more successful private-public partnerships, or PPPs as I will call them. So, why a need for sustainable focused PPPs? Well, today more than ever, business, governments, and society are facing challenges of increasing size and complexities. And what we used to see as public goods can no longer be provided by the public sector alone. That means that we're all kind of struggling with the management of issues such as resource constraints, the state of the planet and its boundaries, the population dynamics, water, food, energy security, etc. And potentially that could lead to conflicts and what is worse. So as the introduction to this webinar points out, climate change impacts and international energy demands present pressing obstacles, but also green growth prospects. So no doubt that we have great opportunities for sustainable growth. However, with the growing complexity and scale of these challenges, it seems necessary and very smart to collaborate. So by combining multidisciplinary skills and experience, even from competing organizations, we can accelerate the path towards sustainable green growth. So therefore, I see tremendous potential in PPPs, especially if we add a 4P, where we include the long-term thinking that the planet demands, so public-private partnerships benefiting the planet and thereby business, consumers, voters, governments, etc., both now and in the future. So we are seeing some very promising examples of PPPs, both in terms of sustainable city planning, design, renewable energy networks, and efficient transit. But we need more bright minds working together to tackle climate change and the growing food, water, and energy security issues. Think about the breakthrough technologies that can emerge if smart scientists from business, governments, and universities work together. So NASA is doing something like that globally. And I hope that this explains why I believe there is a need for sustainable, focused public-private partnerships. And I hope it's okay that I move on to the how in creating successful PPPs and some examples. So when I think about collaborations and successful PPPs and what that has in common, these are the most essential parts as I see them. So number one would be to have well-defined and common objectives. So all parties must be able to see the value in well-defined and common objectives. Number two, clear strategy, expectations, shared benefits. It's necessary that all parties involved need to know the risks of not succeeding, but also and indeed the rewards of succeeding. Trust, distinct allocation of roles and responsibilities, the governance structures, and the right incentives, and often clear leadership support. So trust here is very, very important, because without trust, even the best minds will probably not get to the best solutions. Number four, strong execution plans with milestones. So everybody needs to know how all the tasks comes together and in order to deliver the ultimate objectives. Number five is clearly evaluation, monitoring, and being supported by key performance indicators that is assigned to the different parties. And then perhaps what's most important or often forgotten, that's communication. So both communication within the PPP, but also external communication and collaboration. So we are entering the time of crowdsourcing and sharing economy, and we need to find the business models that incentivize sharing of the brightest minds to solve the big problems, being that the bright scientists and other smart people from business, universities, governments, or others that can contribute to a smarter and more effective path towards a sustainable future. So I'm seeing this happening during sessions such as the World Climate Summit, which is the largest conference that's running in parallel to the UN's FCCC's path towards climate treaty, where both business and finance and government leaders meet annually to develop solutions. This year it will be in Poland and in November. And here it's so amazing to see that all participants, public, private, have the opportunity to set the agenda and provide input into the road to solving the world's problems with climate change. They inspire innovation. They provide input into the public-private partnerships in policy development and implementation, discuss options for financing and the right balance and energy mix we need going forward. So here partnerships flourish, and public and private stakeholders, through engaging in individual projects around the dialogue, can continue shaping their roles and working towards common objectives. I'm also seeing very positive results coming from the United Nations Global Compact. That's kind of like a partnership with around 7,700 companies and civil societies around the world, where it's working together with academics, but also investors around human rights, labor rights, environment, anti-corruption, as well as towards the Millennium Development Goals. Another one is the governments and business wanting to work together on how to define the accounting for the 21st century, where we value nature and have a natural capital accounting system to inform our current financial system. So the World Bank, IFCs, and others are working on that. Again, very exciting. And I also see companies that no longer are looking for the usual suspects to sit at their board of directors or in other functions. And these visionary companies are looking for smart minds that, by combining different knowledge, can get to smarter solutions and thereby help the company. So this is indeed interesting times, where the traditional forms of innovation and boundaries between public and private is changing. And I believe that while we still find ourselves in critical financial times, we will soon find that the companies that does not see the value in collaboration with untraditional partners to find solutions towards a sustainable future will perhaps not find the way into the growing green economy. However, as we said all this is not an easy path. It takes a different mindset, and it does take trust. So I would like to leave you with some important recommendations to help you build strong PPPs and some of the things that we require when we are establishing such partnerships. So the first would be to ensure that there is a consensus on the objectives, and ensuring that there's support for common vision by the stakeholders involved. But actually, before we get to that, the whole identification of the stakeholders needs to be very thorough, and it needs to ensure the involvement of the actors that can help achieve the common goals. So it needs to be supported by a robust stakeholder engagement process, so you ensure that all interests are managed and appropriate roles and accountabilities are assigned. And it also takes a solid partnership process. That's important, so all partners involved have equal share of the pie in terms of setting the agenda, scope of work, roles, and lastly, provide inputs on how to share risk and benefits. So it's a lot of hard but also fun work, and it's rewarding results. It of course also takes strategic thinking, etc., etc. So, but some concluding thoughts here. I see tremendous potential in PPPs to spearhead solutions to our challenges. Keep in mind some of the key elements of strong PPPs and to ensure the robust process that will help engage us in and build successful partnerships to solve the big issues. So at the moment, the US government has great potential to reach many goals successfully in partnerships with business, particularly since the US is the home to so many leading companies from various industries and of all size. And this webinar is a great start to this promising path. So to summarize, I hope I made it clear why there is a need for sustainable focused private-public partnerships, and also some of the common elements of successful PPPs and some general recommendations when considering engaging in PPPs. It's my hope that we'll see more valuable partnerships in the short term for the benefit of us all. The world needs green growth and collaboration between all relevant parties, either by crowdsourcing or in more traditional forms of collaborations that share the valuable insight and for the benefit of us all. So with that, I'd like to thank you, and looking forward to the questions. Thank you.